We are on the road once again, heading out to a dairy farm to spend the day doing some pest control for a farmer. We're in a beautiful part of the country with mountains and grassland in pretty much every direction, but our focus is not on the wild areas today, it's on the cultivated areas. You may recognize this dairy from a previous episode. It's a target-rich environment if ever there was one, and that's down to the fact that it's a green oasis in an otherwise dry area, with plenty of food and water attracting all kinds of birds from far and wide, many of which are welcome here, but some of which are not so welcome. You see that dam there? That's our starting point for the day. And while we've got plans to take down some geese on the fields a little later on, we decided to get things going with the PCP airgun, targeting geese and ducks on the water. So we're just pulling up here to the farm where we're going to be doing some pest control today. I'm going to mostly be using my 22-50 most likely. However, if I get opportunities like on dams and stuff on the geese and ducks from pretty close, I'm going to try use the airgun where possible just because it's much quieter. So I'm just filling up my magazine here. I've got 34 grain Patriot slugs. They've got a decent BC over 0.1. They've got a nice big hollow point and they're made of very soft lead, so I can get the velocity up to close to 1,000 feet per second and really hit them really hard. So really happy about the two rifles I'm going to be using today. Hopefully they can aim true, but yeah, there's no wind right now, so have some high expectations. Okay, 166. Hope this guy keeps still. As you can see, there is plenty to shoot here. Both the Egyptian geese and the red-billed teals you see in picture here are in season, but getting them to keep still is another story. The geese are priority, so I take aim from over 150 meters and go for the head. Right over him. Right next to him. Dead. Dead. Because these geese were moving towards me, I had to hold a little under what I dialed for, and you can see just how the slug sailed right over him here. So I hold a little down, and that's the beauty of going for headshots. You either miss entirely or you hit spectacularly. There is no in between. And yes, you may recognize the shot from a previous video. I used this footage in an episode about how slugs can actually skim on the water. I'll put a link to that video down below. Need you to keep still. Yeah, it's close. Here's another one that was excruciatingly close, also from around 150 meters. That slug basically parts the water like Moses through the Red Sea, and somehow the goose doesn't even bat an eyelid. Luckily for me, that means I get a second chance. Dead. Oh. Well, I promise you, shooting it like at these distances, 160 meters, 165 meters, is not easy. The bird, if it just moves slightly and you time it wrong, no chance. But I'm able to wait until they turn facing towards or facing away from me, then I take the shot. And I've managed to hit two in the head, and they're still there. So I'm actually going to keep going. I'm going to stop that recording. I have to refill my magazine. Look at that, out of slugs, just as I took that last shot. So let's refill and let's get back on it soon. These guys obviously aren't shotted often because they are still hanging around. The geese we just shot at aren't the most pleasant animal to eat. They're a little bit tough, so let's see if we can get a nice juicy duck down while we're at it. Okay, we've got some geese down there at about 170, 180 meters. It's a bit too far for the airgun. We've got a job to do, so 22-50 has come out. Let's see what we can do. Recording there. Big important thing now is just waiting for a good position. And you keep still. There's one that's swimming away.
Just keep still, dude. There you go. Solid. So I finally got one down. I think I was actually dialed a bit too high. I dialed for 150 because they're 170 away, but I've clicked down to 100 now. I have a feeling, I changed my powder charge a few days ago, and I think maybe they're shooting a bit faster than I've calculated for. Plus, at this altitude, the bullets don't slow down as much. But let's see if we can get some more. There's another one down there. Just need him to keep still. There you go. Another one down. Finally figured out where I need to aim now. Now we're in business.
Just because I'm shooting with the 22-50 now doesn't mean I have an easy job. These teals didn't want to stop moving, and the blitzing fast 50 grain ballistic tip at 3,800 feet per second still wasn't fast enough to intercept him. It looks to me like this bullet may have passed just over his neck, and again, massive explosion behind him. The morning is still young, but we don't want to spend too much time at the dam. Most of the geese spend their days grazing in the fields below the pivots, and we want to eventually make our way down there. However, we do spot one lone goose sneaking around the back of the dam, so we set up for one last shot on the water. The 22-50 is a fantastic interceptor. This was probably around 140 to 150 meters away, very close for the 22-50, and that bullet gets there so quickly that I didn't really have to lead this one much, and he gets thumped. Of course, we do need to collect all these birds, but with hardly any wind this morning, we decided to come back later when they've all drifted to the side. I don't really feel like a swim. We're just driving through the dairy now. You may remember this place from the video where I shot like 120 birds in 2 hours, and there was another video where I shot 40 pigeons in like 8 minutes. I think it was called Speed Silhouette in Real Life or something like that. But yeah, awesome property. Thankfully we were just staying on a farm not too far from here last night, so it only took 40 minutes to get out here. But yeah, there's a lot to do here. The idea is that we want to kind of do a combination of goose pest control, which we mostly will need the 22-50 for, a bit of duck hunting for food, and a bit of airgun hunting for doves and pigeons. Those are the main problem animals here. The pigeons and doves eat the feed that they feed the calves with, and the geese graze on the lands. So hopefully we get a combination of those birds today, and let's see what happens. We just have to keep our eyes out here for geese, and hopefully we can smash a few. As you can see, this is a prime spot for taking out some geese with the 22-50. The effective range of the gun is more or less around 400 meters, which means parking close to the center gives us a great platform to send lead out in almost any direction. The lucerne here is like candy to the geese. They love the stuff, and we soon spot the mother of all goose flocks coming down like a plague of locusts. Just look at this. I'll be honest, I got a goofy smile on my face when I started to see these birds landing, because I knew we were in for a good day from here on out. I just hoped and prayed that they wouldn't be spooked by the sound of all the shots, because if they decided to move off to another field, we could be chasing them all day. We tried to gain a little ground to get within 350 meters, and then it's down to business. It's an awesome feeling when you hear that thump, and this is one of the closest shots of the day. From here on out it gets a little more challenging as they start to move a bit further out. You got him. Well, pretty happy with that. I got one there at, I think it was about close to 200 meters, and then one of them at 330, which is pretty far for a new setup. I'm using new powder, I'm using new bullets, I'm using I'm used to using the Hornady VMAX 50 grain, now I'm using the Nosler ballistic tip 50 grain, and they have slightly different BCs. So yeah, I'm kind of getting used to the setup, but managed to get 2 down there. Really happy with that. Missed the 3rd one, but I'm gonna just hang around here. Often they'll circle around and land again, so we'll see if we can get some more. So these are what I normally use. 50 grain Hornady VMAX. My rifle cannot actually stabilize anything heavier than that, believe it or not. And this is what I'm using today. 50 grain Nosler ballistic tips. The BC is a little bit low on these, but I couldn't find any VMAXs, and I have a ton of these, so I want to use them up. And so far, it's working well. Between shots, it's always nice to just take in the views. This was filmed during a warm winter day back in June or July. It does often drop below 0 here in winter, but that doesn't really affect the way that the dairy operates. As you can see, it's still green and full of life. In an upcoming episode, we'll be going after some doves closer to the milking sheds, but for now, our focus is firmly on the geese as they start coming back. Smashed it. 390 meters. Oh, wow. Well, 390 meters, that's officially my furthest shot with a 22-50, and I'm doing it with a new round. I kind of, you know, this turret tape on here was set for sea level, so over here at altitude I have to bring it back 1 or 2 clicks, because obviously the bullet isn't slowing down as quickly. I've figured it out. We're starting to get some good hits now at long range, or long for this caliber, and yeah, hopefully we can keep at it. Beautiful view out here today. Look at this. It's awesome. The reason we're shooting off the back of the truck, because we need to get some elevation of some sort, and we also don't want to be lying down in the cow poop. It's damp here, it stinks. Way more pleasant to be up here. So let's keep at it. I'm gonna keep looking out for some geese and hopefully get some more. Okay, 390 meters. Let's see if we can get these guys down. I'll go for one of them on the right there. Oh, just over him. So I think I'm still shooting a little bit high. I should have actually brought it back 1 or 2 clicks. It's really difficult to tell, especially at that distance. From this angle, you know, if you could be ranging 20, 30, 40 meters off, it's very without like a rangefinder on a tripod, you can make errors pretty easily. Here's a closer look at my setup. This is a Tikka T3 varmint with a GRS stock and a TrueWorks silencer, and of course topped off with an Element Helix 6-24x50, which is what we're filming through with a side shot scope can. Got him. And he's done. I'm basically straddling my bucky because I have to get right on this angle here, but the one thing about geese is that sometimes they have mates, and the mates will circle around and come back and land again. So I'm going to keep an eye open here to see if that happens.
Mate is there, but hasn't landed yet. Get ready for that so long. Okay. It's landed, but a little bit further. Another 3 clicks up. Let's see what we can do. Oh, this is super awkward. Dead. 362 meters down on the spot. This is turning out to be a flipping awesome day. Basically, we're in the middle of the pivot, and anything within the radius of the pivot is within the kill zone of the 22-250. Right now, there's no wind. The big weakness with the 22-250 is the wind. It shoots pretty flat. You know, if it drops, you can always calculate that pretty quickly, but wind is always the biggest issue. Right now, with no wind, it is so much easier. I think we're going to be in for a good day.
Well, the farmer's wife was nice enough to pack us a little bit of a picnic. We got some coffee, some snacks, some brownies. So yeah, we're just going to take a bit of a break, settle down while we wait for the geese to just circle around and come back.
Alas, the geese never came back, so time to go for a walk.
Now the difficult part starts. We have to try and remember where these geese were. But out here, everything looks exactly the same. I don't know if they're on this little line over here or somewhere down there. No clue. And they spread out pretty much all over the place. So we're going to be out here for a while, but we do want to pick them up. It would be a huge waste to let the meat just sit there and get eaten by something else when there's tons of workers here that would love to eat them. So we're going to go find them and bring them back. So here's one of the geese here. Looks like I hit him directly where the wing meets the body, which is where you want to hit a goose. I can't remember which one this was, but I just ranged the truck down there and it's 330 meters. So you can see how far that is away down there. Pretty long for a little caliber like this, but that's what this 22-250 is built for. Alright. Here's the one that was at 390. Another pretty big one. You can see the coloration on them here. You know an Egyptian goose because it's got this mark in the front. In Afrikaans, Egyptian goose is kolgans. Yeah, this one was hit right there in the neck area, so he would have gone straight down. And you can see just how far it was. The little white speck down there, that is my truck. So a long way off, but he went straight down. Super happy with that. Okay, so here's number 4. Now this one tells an interesting story because I don't want to actually show you that, but he's blown to pieces on the bottom there. His whole insides are hanging out. The interesting thing though is about 15 meters on that side there's a big patch of feathers, and if I remember correctly, this is the one that I hit. I heard the sound of hitting him solidly, and then he ran like 20 meters, and I was like, what the heck, how can this thing still be running? Looking at him now and seeing how much damage was done, that tells a story of how tough these Egyptian geese are. I've shot Egyptian geese at almost point blank range of the 22-250 and still seen them run. So they're super tough, but thankfully we managed to get down all of them that we shot. Nothing wounded. We've managed to collect all of them except one. There's one, the first one that I shot on this field is somewhere down there. We've walked all over the place and just can't find it. If we had some sort of helicopter or very high vehicle that we could drive through here with, we'd probably be able to find him, but maybe we can try get him on the way back. Anyway, that's 4 geese in this area. Super happy with that. Let's go back to the dam where we shot those geese early this morning. They will have probably blown to the side now and we'll be able to collect them as well. Awesome stuff.
We decided to pop in at one more field on the way to the dam. We had seen a few geese landing there earlier, and with fresh grass to munch, we were pretty sure that we could find some. And sure enough, Oh well, maybe it's just time to put the 22-250 away. While having another coffee break on the edge of the dam, we noticed some movement, and would you look at that, more geese. So out comes the FX Impact once again, and it just puts that goose to sleep from well over 100 meters. I wasn't sure how well I'd hit the second one, so I'll reload quickly and put in another shot. Just to be safe.
Done. Woo! Well, unfortunately, those last two geese I just shot now, the wind has died down completely and they're stuck in the middle of the dam, so I'm going to have to just phone the farmer and just let him know that he must come pick them up maybe tomorrow morning once they're moved off to the side. But we did get a good number of geese today. These aren't all of them. There were some that we struggled to find out in the lands, or some that the farm workers picked up on the dam before we could get to them. But really happy. Combination of the air rifle and the 22-250. I think we kind of pushed the ranges quite nicely on both of them, and we could do that because there was very little wind today. The moment you got a lot of wind, it becomes so unpredictable. But the 22-250 and no wind, it's super straightforward. Dial for elevation, you know, get set up nicely, take the shot and thump. Got a few of these down with like that. Awesome feeling to hear that thump and see it drop. And then obviously with the air gun as well on the water, that's really difficult because, you know, when they're moving this way and that, you cannot predict where that slug's going to go. And if they're moving away or towards you, you've got to keep changing the range and keep ranging. It's a nightmare. But we got some of them right, with some geese that looked like they were keeping fairly still, or, you know, when they're swimming towards or away from you, you don't have that side to side movement. So you can range them, dial quickly, get your parallax set up, hit record, take the shot, and bam, a few of them down. So extremely happy. Solid day out here on the dairy. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.